Hello, fellow Factorians. Welcome back to my challenge run. During this hands-off period, I try out using speed control to experience time a little bit more closely to what you guys do. This will let me not wait around during the periods when my base is just supposed to be chilling out, and also let me test how close to the limit I am on UPS. Right now, it looks like I can go up to about 15x and be really stable, so that gives me lots of headroom to add more to my base. Although, like the base also needs to grow by at least 15 times, so we'll have to do some optimizations later. Things start off going really well. I produce a lot more science, and I get through the solder technology, but then things start to dwindle, and for a while, science seems to hover at 90, and I'm like, okay, I can make this. Something's okay, but then it cracks. Anyway, I'm going to let you go to the live play, and he will explain what happened, but yeah, another failure. It seems like I'm going to run 50-50 during this challenge run. But at least this one was sophisticated and not like a silly little mistake for the most part. Another research failure. Let's see. Little dip under 80 for a minute. But yeah, this is enough to cause a trip. And I think the failure here this time is interesting. So let's go take a look at it. Oh, before I do that, let's add another copy of a Memento Mori here. Hit this. This turns out to be a problem with the sushi pipe system. I took a look at it as I was watching science start to go down. So I'll explain what's going on. So down here I have this sushi pipe system. Coal gas is coming in from the top, and a range of stuff is coming in from the bottom. And if the stuff that is coming in from the bottom gets full, then the tar production blocks, and without enough pitch, I don't produce enough science. So the problem with this is that the coal gas starts to just trickle in very, very, very slowly. Like you'll see that it tripped, and now anthracene is being burned by the glassworks. But when coal gas is being fed in there, it goes well at the beginning, but then it starts to trickle in because there's several pumps in a row pumping coal gas from the top. So pumps in Factorio 2.0, when they're pumping something with a very small amount of fluid in their fluid networks, they slow down. Like this one's going at only 100 per second. So it lets a small trickle of coal gas keep this pipe occupied, and then these glassworks do not clear that amount, because when the glassworks are at very low values, like they are right here, they don't work at full speed. They blink, and even when they're not blinking, they're not working at full speed. So how would we go about fixing this? And I guess I should go out of hands-off mode when I actually address this. That. Oh, science doesn't need to set because it's still broken. Like the best way to fix this would be to use a latch or many latches, and latch each fluid so that it only pumps when it hits, let's say, 80% full, and then pumps down to 20%, like an SR latch. Another way to address this would just be make a stack of glassworks and that is only for the coal gas that can slowly process that, and then the other fluids can get used up. I cannot make a latch system because I don't have a good way to read fluids, and I don't have combinators. I could probably get around the combinators, but I can't get around reading fluids. I could try and read them off of the buildings themselves, but that seems very hinky. And then, of course, I can make a more glassworks, but like I don't really want to brute force the problem. So this is the solution that I've decided to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop one brick on here, And then I'm going to enable disable these guys when bricks are 0. So what this is going to do is this is going to create kind of a duty cycle for each of the pumps, so that the pumps have a chance to turn themselves off. And then, because, like when this is just running a trickle, it's fine if it turns off. If it had a lot in there, it would, if a lot of coal gas had been pushed into the glassworks, it would still keep going with glassworks, and that's okay. What I want is basically a chance for these to start toggling. And hopefully, if this works, my pitch production will go back up, and my science will go back up, and everything will be fine. Hands off, not toggle. Hands off mode now. Okay. Well, I have to reset the timer anyway, so I need to reset the timer to, yeah, I burned 3 minutes moving around with that. Okay, and we're back to counting up, and we're back to hand time. So, hopefully that is fixed. Now I'm going to go into my starter base and fix maybe a couple of issues in there. So I had sillily disconnected this water when I removed the nursery, or the botanical nursery. Yeah. So my moon drops were not running. It's a shame, but I can use up these modules. There's plenty of seeds in here. Take this one. And at least this building will be able to run full tilt. I think I also need another seaweed crop facility, because there's these make seaweed very, very slow, only 0.2 per second, and they're all getting consumed for petri dishes, and none of them are stacking up for modules, so I'll make another one here. Besides that, looking at the task list, I didn't get as far through the sciences as I was hoping for, so I guess I will work on doing the safe reserve lead smelting, because I did at least get solder, so I should be able to dump all of these into a furnace now. Double check. Yes, good. Okay, so let me grab a little bit of seaweed, since I think I threw all of mine into petri dishes before. Seaweed plant. And then I'm going to go into the time warp to make a little lead smelting system that just takes the lead away. Speaking of which, I think I will also go ahead and make the lead mining and smelting system generally, which will be very, very similar to what is going on for tin, except with I don't have the acetylene to actually do that. But I will pretend that I'll get the acetylene eventually, and we'll be ready when I do. Okay, so I'll be back soon. Okay, just a brief interlude to say that I have the lead setup working, or not working. I can't really test it right at the moment. I just wanted to reset my science, but since science seems to have stabilized, this is just the same thing that I'm doing for tin, except I will need a different fluid, acetylene, to go ahead and smelt this. Sorry, to go ahead and mine this. Acetylene I can't make quite yet because I need to get the evaporation processing. Even though I've researched acetylene, there's no way to do anything with the slate lime until I get evaporation processing. So for now, I won't mine it, but I have that massive backlog. If I go ahead and look at pitch, though, and look at it, yeah, it's stabilized, that system that I put in place. Even if it's not the most beautiful circuit-based logic, it is keeping the duty cycle for those pumps working well. And I might even stress test by adding a few more tar processing facilities to see how it goes. So not this time. Let's see. Time is still plenty of time. Maybe it's not quite at the half-hour mark. So maybe I will add a couple more tar processing facilities. I'll probably at that point run out of tar to send into them, but that's also not such a bad thing. All right, we'll put those in on the pre-built area, so you don't need to watch that. I'll be right back. That's put in place, and yeah, as I expected, tar is going to run low. I don't mind that. I don't really want all of this running, especially since I think it would probably kill my Steam system. But yeah, this should be enough. I'll fill in these miners as well, might as well, to make sure that I don't waste carbolic, although it doesn't look like carbolic is going to, yeah, it's not going to be wasted. There's still plenty of mining here, capacity to use up the carbolic as is. So we'll see how that runs for a bit. If I need to, I will cut off the steam line going to this bottom stack, which will be easily enough to shut down that. But better to stress test it while I'm in hands-off mode than find out later when I eventually double that science system that it would be overloaded, particularly this sushi belt typing system. So going back to the main base, I'm going to add the diversion of the lead that I'm accumulating up to the lead processing area so that it can be merged with priority. And also I probably need to have a buffer with priority to use that up there. So I'll be back after I set that up. Okay, so I think I have my lead disposal squared away here. Just make sure that I'm avoiding all the ash from this. Where do I avoid the ash from? How do I get rid of the ash here? That's interesting. Where's this ash going? I have no idea. Oh, it's not going anywhere because there's no ash to be made here because it's wood. Yeah, okay. This plate. Okay. So now I just need to get rid of all of this lead plate that I've put in boxes. So I think I'm just going to pack mule it over to my lead plate and some furnacing that is built for the miners, and just kind of set up some temporary boxes to delete those. So I'll be back after I've done that. Okay, with all of that taken care of, about 12 boxes of lead ore, 12 steel chests. That's going to make me 1 steel chest of lead because it compresses down from stacks of 50 ore at a ratio of 6 to 1 to make stacks of 100 of lead plate. So let me clear my inventory a bit and look at pitch production. How are we doing? So we're fluctuating. I wonder why. And this is my guess. I've got plenty of pitch production and I'm not blocked. So it's really the tar that is, compare the two. I think there'll be a direct comparison between tar and pitch production. Yeah, those look very, very similar. And what was happening here was clearly that there was a tar backlog in my system. I don't really want to increase tar at the moment. That's more of a, like, I'm officially doubling the base. But I might go and add a little bit of additional tar production. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Not like many of those buildings, but a few, and then I'll be back after I have done that. Actually, thinking about it, what I want to do is I want to increase the. I want to switch away from this build again. Oddly enough, yeah, I'm going to change back to using raw coal here. Reason being because in the future I'm going to make simple circuits around here, and I'll need a little bit more coal for that. But mostly I will need more wood, so I want to kind of like not be using all this wood to produce the coal that I've been producing. So that would be ideal. Also because the wood is running in a feast or famine mode, sometimes with ash not being sufficient here. So the best thing I can probably do here is set up for the future a little bit better. This is the line that I was running on. Okay, so I'm going to rebuild this yet again, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is just a piece of the build that I was doing up north, so nothing new here, and I've hooked it up to my coal line that I was using before. Hopefully this is all fine. Besides using raw coal now instead of wood, so I can produce more wood, the other thing that this lets me do is produce more fuel gases. Remember, I switched away from doing this recipe because it produced more tar and coal gas per coke, and at the time I didn't want those fuel gases. Now I do. All right, so I think this is going to produce about the same amount of coke as before, maybe a little bit less, since these don't run the things at the same rate. But I can always add to this build, and that will be no problem. I've also removed the glass that I was making here. I will need to make some glass over here in the future when I do simple circuits, but I'm going to do it elsewhere, not the spot that I was doing it before. Okay, so this should make pitch go a little bit faster right away, hopefully. I spelled it right. Yep, instant jump. And that should help out science pretty quickly. How am I doing on time? I have 10 minutes left. So with those 10 minutes, I think I'm going to run around and check my base briefly, verify that science is actually going better, delete some of this. My steel chests are full. I don't actually need as much steel production as I've got going here. And in fact, I also probably don't need all this iron production because my small parts boxes are full as well. As long as I can continue to produce reinforced concrete, so I'm going to put a box of iron there, just to put it so that I've got some space. Oops. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back after I've done some housekeeping on things, and see you for the end of the episode, probably, unless stuff blows up. Okay, things look pretty good, but I am going to add the same kind of duty cycle system to this area of the base as well to give different gases or liquids a chance to void if they need to. That should just help make sure things are flowing smoothly. More pitch is being created, as you can see. A lot more of my tar is running. Hopefully this is still not going to overtop the carbolic oil system, and I don't think it is. I think that... let's check now. 36 per second? 50 per second. Okay, I'm going to add some more miners here. My base can definitely handle it. This is less than half a belt of stone. So be back after I've added some more miners. Okay, some mining done. I'm anticipating getting splitters soon so that I can get rid of this gross looking stuff that I've got going on here. I don't think these tar processing units are actually running full time, so that extra mining may not have been necessary, but yeah, I think better safe than sorry in this case. So as long as nothing new has broken, I'll add a little bit more to the end here. No, there's plenty of places to process ash. See how pitch production is going, and then I think I will call it an episode if everything is looking good. Pitch production is... yeah, there was a backlog that was created, but it's still at least above where it was when it was in steady state. Probably my oak in my starter base has backed up because I don't need to produce that much steel after all, which is 100% fine. The real solution is to burn off some coke, but I'll do that at the northern part. Make sure you're clearing for ash. Okay. Oh, just on time. Do I need to do anything else? Could I use more? Yeah, I've got plenty of power. Science seems above the stability point, but that's not guaranteed. I haven't put in official, real extra tar processing, so I'm not going to raise my limits here. I need to build this out, and I'm going to build that out when I build some acetylene. My acetylene was going to go up here. So this episode, I've made lead go. Now I'm processing a bunch of lead up north from all the boxes. I can't mine it yet, but I will next episode most likely, unless I break basically instantly. And yeah, we've increased our science, or fixed our science production yet again. Hopefully this hands-off mode will go well. I have a, let's say, 2/3% chance probability that it will work this time. All right, see you. Let me switch to hands-off mode. Hands-off mode. See you next time.